We're going to talk about Mohammed Kudus today. There you go. There's an intro for you. We've been recording some videos over on Patreon. Patreon's our third Hammers Chat channel. And on Patreon, amongst lots and lots of other things, we do a mug of tea where we sit down with a mug of tea and we answer questions from our beloved patrons. Now, these videos go on a bit, and we do discuss quite a lot of stuff, and we have questions left over. So today we've got a couple of questions, or certainly one question about Kudus, don't we, Gio?
Yes, we do. Well, it's two different questions, but it's the same topic. Freddie asks, would you start to play Kudus in an attacking midfielder position, like centre attacking number 10 role position going forward to impact games more than on the wing? And Ben also asks a slightly different question, which is, what is Kudus's best position in your opinion? If it's the right wing, do we have a problem with him and Bowen? And then Ben left a kind comment, just to say keep up the good work. Freddie didn't leave a kind comment, but Ben did.
Well, thank you, Ben, and thank you, Freddie, because I'm sure he thought a nice comment. Freddie, yes, I think the answer is yes. Whilst Lucas Paqueta is not there, we've got a real problem prizing open the defence. There's no doubt about it. 11 goals conceded, none scored in the last 3 games. And I do think that, the none scored is a point, is valid. I think if you were an opposition manager looking at West Ham, and you were doing your tactics and you were giving your team talk, and when you're doing a build up and in training, you would probably say, look, we can really go at these guys. That they haven't really got much to hurt us with on the counter attack at all. They don't really have a supply line, and if we basically strangle them, if we make sure nothing comes from wide positions, they really don't have anything centrally that's going to be able to open them up. And I think that's probably, not being a tactician or anything, I'd imagine if you are a football manager and you're able to sort of know that there's a whole big chunk of the area of the pitch, basically the middle, where there's going to be no threat coming from, then I'd imagine that's probably quite easy to mitigate. And I think you probably saw Nottingham Forest do that really well, which they defended extremely well on the flanks. And what did West Ham have to offer up after that? Nothing. We had no way through. So I think looking at it, I would place it. I wouldn't play him there permanently because I'm yet to be convinced that he has that third eye, that killer pass, if you want, that thing that you would associate with a number 10. And I've never felt, it's amazing. I mean, I love Lanzini as a player, but I've never missed him more so than over the past 2 or 3 weeks. I just feel he would have played and he would have given us some form of creativity centrally. But do you know what? Even if you don't necessarily have that killer pass, there's still 2 things that he would bring from attacking midfield, and that is an intent to carry the ball forward. So he would take players out, and the moment you skip past one player, then players are out of position. I think he has that, and the other thing is you have the long shot. So again, people close down. That creates more bother for other people. And I do think there were other things that David Moyes could have done. So maybe you could look at a front 4 if you want. So let's say Freddie, in your suggestion to put Kudus as number 10, Bowen on the right, you could have put Antonio for the middle, and maybe you could have put Cornet on the left. Now I know Cornet didn't cover himself in glory, he completely missed the ball and probably should have had a penalty against him, but you put an attacking player there, you do something, or maybe put Mabama through there and Antonio on the left, or do something. But I certainly think he would attract. It's a bit like wasps around. I was going to say wasps around honey. That's probably not the right one, is it? Whatever.
Definitely the incorrect insect you got there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely got, but you know what I'm saying. It's like flies around shit. But you know what I'm saying.
I just said bees around honey, but sure.
Bees around honey, but I'm thinking they don't go around the honey. They make the honey. Do they really buzz around the honey? You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I just think that he would have attracted a lot of attention. Kudus, he's certainly definitely more honey than the other thing. Anyway, I'm sort of struggling a little bit here. I just think it would give the opposition defence a lot more to think about. And I think we've got such a talent there. He's such an incredible player. And what we're doing is we're marginalising him. On his day, he is our best player. He a man of the match performer. I really do believe that. So, anything other than what we've seen from Mohammed Kudus since Paqueta's been out, basically.
Yeah, I'm in two minds. I think you've covered the positives and the negatives regarding it. The positives is you get that attacking player central into the middle of the park. He's got that ability to run and dribble, and it's a unique way of dribbling he's got. I've not seen many players dribble with accuracy, pace, and power that he has. I've seen some fast dribblers, but they're perhaps not the best at controlling the ball while at full pace. But then I've seen some strong dribblers who perhaps aren't the quickest, but they're able to hold up it. I'd argue Paqueta's one of those. He's really strong, and the ball is hard to get the ball off of, but he doesn't have the pace to carry it past players. Kudus has got both. He's got the pace and the power, which is a unique combination. But he doesn't have that creativity. He's got the goal scoring, and I think, you've seen against Nottingham Forest once or twice he rocked up in positions in and around the 18-yarder, we just didn't give him the ball. Giant Bone didn't give him the ball. So him collecting those second balls or any knockdowns or just being on the edge when Bone's there, looking for the cutback, Kudus is there, I think that would be a good asset in terms of goal scoring. But like you said, the creativity isn't there. I've yet to see him create much from open play. However, what's the alternative at the moment is James Ward-Prowse, and I've yet to see him create anything that isn't in a quadrant of a circle. So the alternatives aren't that great. Now, once Paqueta returns, I would argue that maybe that's where Paqueta goes. Then you have Bowen and Kudus either side of him, and that would be our front four with Michail Antonio up ahead as well. So I'm thinking maybe that. I still prefer Kudus for now out on the right-hand side. And I guess this leads us on to Ben's question, which is, what do you think Kudus's best position is?
Well, but before you do, I mean, you're talking about James Ward-Prowse there, and we certainly looked very recently at his statistics for passing, which were very good, and we looked in a very special and lovely place for those statistics, Gio.
Yes, SofaScore, there you go. Ward-Prowse is below my chin, and the QR code is below Gonzo's chin. If you're looking for a free app to download, which requires absolutely no sign up, you just download it and you're good to rock and roll. You can get all the latest scores from around the globe. You can see what the West Ham lineup is. If you go back into the game against Nottingham Forest, you perhaps don't want to, but if you did, you can see our starting 11. But also, if you click on each individual player, you will see their statistics from that game. So if you're ever wondering, I wonder what Michail Antonio's heat map looked like from the City ground at the weekend. You probably weren't, but if you were, you can find it on SofaScore. It's a really good app. I've got it on my phone prior to us working with them, just like I've still got the OneFootball app and I still use the OneFootball app. Don't sponsor us anymore, don't promote it anymore, but we are currently promoting an app I genuinely use on a reasonably daily basis. It's the best place for statistics. If you're watching a game of football, if you're into betting like I am, you're betting on shots on target, fouls committed, anything like that, then SofaScore has those stats for in-game as well. Get it downloaded. The link's in the description below, or you can use a QR code that's next to Gonzo right now. It's free to download, no sign-up required. Happy days.
Even I'm using it, by the way. Let me just tell you that.
Which is dangerous because I've known Gonzo for 8 years now. Never once has he quoted statistics at me. But he rang me the other day to say, I've discovered that we're the third best team for corners, but we're the 17th for getting corners. Oh, no. Look what happens when you let someone like Gonzo get his hands on statistics. I'm hoping he's deleted the app by now.
I've still got the app. You lot, you dodged a curveball. You almost got a statistics video from me. But do you know what? Funny enough, G, I was going to do the old... I was going to be doing the old whiteboard and all the stuff. Honestly, we were going to have the football pitch, and honestly, it was going to be a beautiful. There'd be players running forward, and honestly,
Wish.com's version of Tifo football.
It would have been. I think it would have been a magnificent statistics video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that video with my whiteboard markers.
If you'd like to see Poundland Xabi Alonso, then let us know.
I guess it'd be better than that drawing I did on Patreon, eh? Anyway, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Okay. Ben. Right-hand side for Mohammed Kudus. I think it's his best position. I do. That's the position I like to see him in. I haven't seen enough of him on the as a sort of centre forward, or maybe you'd call him a false nine or whatever, to fully make that. You've alluded to a problem. Yes, I also think it's Jared Bowen's best position. But I don't think that's a massive problem. I think it's a sort of nice problem to have. We've got a really, really thin squad at the moment, and there've just been too many times where we haven't had, certain players available, and you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We didn't get to play with Kudus all over the African Cup of Nations, and So sorry, dearie me, this is taking a turn for the worse, isn't it? This video. I want to get on that sofa score. That's what you want to do. I do, yeah. I do think I don't like inverted wingers. I do. Can you stop laughing? Can you stop smirking, please? Take that bloody smirk off your face. I don't like inverted wingers normally. I think we're not able to cross as much as we used to be able to. I like the cross with the right hand side, with the right footer on the right, left footer on the left. However, in terms of inverted wingers, with this guy, I mean, come on, he's got an absolute humdinger of a shot on him as well, and I feel he's sort of, I just completely not powerless on that left-hand side, but it takes away possibly his biggest asset. And I like him cutting and shooting with his left foot. Over to you.
Yeah, I don't like him on the left. I don't. I think he did well against Dalot, but he wasn't really posing much threat. Granted, when he went over to the right side, he did nothing. And against Nottingham Forest, he did nothing on the left side against Nico Williams. Came over against Tavares, looked bright for a handful of minutes, but the game was dead. It was just, he struggled to get into it. He really struggled to impose himself. His best performances for West Ham have come when he's played on the right. Now, we've seen very little of him in that number 10 role. We haven't seen him in a false 9, to my memory, in a West Ham shirt. No. However, I've seen him play there for Ajax and very briefly for Ghana during the World Cup. He scored goals when playing there. Not sure I want to see him play there for West Ham. However, I am surprised that whilst Antonio was out, we continued with the lesser physical Jared Bowen as striker and left the guy with the upper body strength out on the right rather than switching them. And I do think the right wing is his best position, and it's a little bit confirmation bias because of my opinion of Kudus prior to arriving. When he did arrive, I thought this is the guy that will move over on the right and push Jared Bowen up front because of what David Moyes has said about his desire to see Bowen as a striker. And when people said, yeah, but he plays better than number 10, I thought, yes, for Ajax, it's probably easier to play number 10 for Ajax than it is for West Ham, where you're getting the space afforded to yourself and you're playing with the likes of Tadic and that over there. It's easier. But for West Ham in the Premier League, it can be a very congested area of the pitch. I think we've seen times where Kudus has run central on the dribble and there's 2 or 3 players around him, whereas when he's out on the wing, at least he's usually got one direct opponent. And I would back him to beat his left back time and time again.
Yeah.
The problem is that's Jared Bowen's best position as well. And I guess the issue that Moyes has got is, well, how do you utilise both of them? And I think the answer isn't necessarily who's best out there. The answer kind of is, well, what's best? Kudus play number 10 or Bowen playing a striker? Because that's your alternative. If you play Bowen on the right, Kudus probably has to come into that number 10 role. At the minute, Moyes is putting him out on the left, but once Paqueta's back. But if you're going to push Kudus onto the right, I would say I would be surprised if Bowen could play the number 10. Do I want him out on the left? I'm not. I know you like your left footers being on the left. I don't. I prefer them cutting in and taking shots. So I think long term, I would like to see us have Bowen on the right, Kudus in the number 10, Paqueta on the left, and then Antonio up front. But not rigid, because the biggest asset we've had with Paqueta on paper being on the left is he's not on the left. He's able to go wandering. And if you put Kudus in number 10, I think you're almost stifling what Paqueta can do to some extent. So maybe we'd have to see Kudus on the left and Paqueta in the middle. Long story short, we've got 3 really good attackers in Paqueta, Bowen and Kudus. And one of them's going to have to be sacrificed to some extent. And it's just a case of which one do you... Because to get the best Bowen, he needs to play on the right. To get the best Kudus, he's possibly going to have to play on the right. And to get the best Paqueta, he's probably going to have to be a free role. You can't... I don't think you can't do all 3. So one of those is going to have to miss out a little bit in order to get the best out of the other 2. And this is where Moyes has to get it right. He has to get it right. Because if you can get 2 of those players playing 8 out of 10, and the other one a 6 or a 7, you'll do all right. You've got goals in that team. And this is why I want to see us change it up all the time. If Antonio's knackered, like I said, try Kudus up front, going on the right, Paqueta on the left, doing his wandering or whatever. We've got options. We've got 3 really good attackers. Antonio, who could be a good attacker. And then we've got Kone, who probably just still won't get on the pitch. But I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. So to answer Ben's question, do we have an issue with both of them playing right wing as best position? I think we do.
Well, what I'd like, just before we finish, what I'd like to see, Ben and Freddie, with your kind words and kind thoughts, what I'd really like to see, I think, is at some point when there's a game we really need to win, I would love just a glimmer from Moyes to see him play. Change the positions, whatever you want, but to play Paqueta, to play Kudus, to play Antonio, and to play Bowen in a team that we needed to win. I would love to
Well, it's got to be Monday. It has to be Monday.
It has to be Monday
enough, because Phillips is suspended. So now he only has to drop 1 centre midfielder. If Phillips was available, out of Ward-Prowse, Souček, Phillips and Alvarez, he's got to drop 2 of them. And he won't do that. So Phillips is out. So he's only got to leave out one of Ward-Prowse or Souček next to, and the other one next to Alvarez. Monday...
Yeah.
Because
I don't think he will. We'll discuss that in the preview, Gio. We'll discuss that. When's the preview going up? Friday? Something like that. Whenever. But yeah, it's that I'd love to see us have that level of intent. There you go. Thank you, as ever, all you lovely patrons, for all your comments. We got more comments. We got to work out what to do with them. We're possibly gonna have another round of mug of tea or something like that. Some more videos. Thanks so much. Please head over to Patreon. We've got a free trial. I say at the moment, running a free trial for a couple of months now. 7-day free trial as a mild addict. It also enables you to go back and retrospectively watch all those old videos. You can watch all that sort of naughty naked podcast that we do as well. Get caught up on what myself and Gio are sort of up to behind the scenes. If you want, do remember though, if you don't like the Patreon, and we're confident that you will, you do have to cancel it. Otherwise, it'll roll over and you end up paying us money each month, which is sort of what we want. Anyway, cheers for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Happy day.